to Crypto Moonshots. Great to have you guys here. If you're new here, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about pundix, and we're going to go over a little bit of technical analysis, and then we're going to talk about what these are and how they can help us predict the price. And then we're also going to be talking about some bad news and some good news with the coin. So let's just jump straight into it. I don't want to waste you guys' time, so let's get into it. So basically, just to go to an overview of how I got these lines. Okay, so I always start with weekly, especially with such a new token. Again, it went through an exchange. We'll talk about that later. But so I start with a weekly. That's a level of resistance right there, right? And then we come to the daily, and then we can draw that yellow line as a level of support. Okay, and then as we keep going, we got to make sure everything lines up, which it does. And then we come to the 4 hour. Okay, and then as you can see here, you know, there's 3 wicks that touched it right there. And then there, you know, it held it as resistance right here. So I think this is a pretty significant line that we can draw. This red line, we can draw that as a level of support previously, and now it's acting as resistance. Okay, so let's kind of look at what's going on. So again, it went through different exchanges, and the price dropped a little bit. So it's technically a new coin now. That's why the graph is so small. Okay. So we can see that when it initially opened up, it fell down. It fell down around 60%. Okay, and then it established that daily level of support, right, which is a strong level of support, and then it came back up, you know, 156%. Okay, so then just like clockwork, it hit that level of resistance, that weekly level of resistance, which again, weekly is stronger than daily, which is stronger than, you know, 6 hour, 4 hour, you know, and so on. Okay, so it held that line. Okay, and then it went back down, and then it unfortunately broke through this line right here. Okay, it broke through this line. Again, we don't have too much data to look at, so, you know, these lines aren't too established. They don't tell us too much because, you know, this is just for fun, kind of. It's really hard to speculate what's going to happen. Okay, so now we're over here, right? And then I drew these trend lines, these blue trend lines, from the swing low of this area, from that daily level of support, to where we're at right now. And then I drew the other trend line from the swing high of where it touched the weekly level of resistance to where we are right now. Okay, and if you've been following me, I always tell you guys that whenever we come to an end of a trend line, 2 things can happen, right? It can either go up or down. Okay, and basically, if we look right here, I don't really like the fact that it broke down. It broke through the level of the 4 hour support. I don't like the fact that it broke through that line. Okay, but as you can see, the good news is that there was a bullish candle formed. Okay, so this could tell us that this, because it came down, because of that bullish candle, right, that could be the bottom, and then we could see a reversal for it to go up high. Okay, so we're just looking at that right now. Again, it's coming to the end of the trend line, so hopefully, right, we go up. Again, I don't like the fact that it broke through that level of support, so a good possibility is we could come and test back down here, but that's what the other indicators are for, and we're going to take a look at them now. So that's all I kind of wanted to say for this. So let's take a look at the other indicators. Okay, and let me just move this for you guys so you guys can see better. Okay, cool, perfect. So as you can see, as I drag through the screen, you can see it on the left side. It corresponds to that. Okay, so over here, right, we were kind of oversold, right? So that's why that's what the RSI indicates, right? And then over here, right, when it came down over here, we were overbought, which is the reason that the price dropped so much. Okay, what is that? It dropped around, let's see, 35%. Okay, so that tells us when it's overbought and oversold. Okay, so again, oversold right here, around right there, and then overbought right here, or I'm sorry, oversold right here. Okay, and so yeah, so that's what the RSI is telling us. And then if we look at the MACD, right, we can see that when this blue line and orange line cross, right, that's a very bullish sign. Okay, when they cross right there, you know, a big green wave was formed. Right? And then when they crossed right here again, that became bearish, and a big red wave was formed. Okay, now if we kind of, you know, zoom into these waves, again, these are just indicators that are going to help us determine what can happen. Obviously, anything can happen in crypto, but they're just indicators to help us kind of predict what's going to happen. Okay, so don't take this as the the holy book of, okay, this is for sure going to happen. Okay, so we can see that this red wave is being formed, right? And it looks like we've kind of seen the peak of the wave already, right? And that's where the candle, the bullish candle that I was telling you guys earlier, that's where that formed. Okay, so I think that if we wait a little bit longer, that these lines are going to cross again, and once they do, that's when we're going to look bullish again. Okay, and as you can see, the RSI corresponds to that. It goes down, right, and then it goes up, and it corresponds to that, and then now it's down, and it's looking like it's going to go back up. Okay, so I would kind of wait just a little bit, just to see, just to keep an eye on it and see what happens with this trend line. If it breaks below the bottom trend line, right, there's a good chance that we could be coming back and touching it here. If it breaks above the trend line, then I think there's a good chance that we could go back up. And I think that if we, if this coin picks up enough traction, and again, it's kind of new, right? It's kind of new. I mean, it was a very old coin, but because of the different exchanges, it's kind of a new coin. I think we have a possibility of shooting past the all-time high, right? And that depends on the volume picking up and other factors and how much people believe in this coin. But this used to be a very popular coin, right? And I still think it is. I think that, it kind of messed it up that it came through different exchanges. Again, we'll talk about that later. But I still see an upside potential, and that's what these indicators are kind of telling us. I think it's ready to make a little bit of a run. And even if you set your limit to sell over here, you can make it easy 50%. So I just keep an eye on that and see, which is it going to break the top trend line or the bottom trend line. And then once it does that, another important thing is, will it be able to break this level of resistance, which was previously support? Okay. So those are the things that I'm looking at with this coin. Again, anything can happen, but what the indicators are telling us is that it could be bullish in the short term to medium term. Okay. And then long term, that's up to you to decide. You can do your own research, but personally, I believe in this project. Okay. So let's talk about the bad news first. So the Reddit is, a lot of, again, I'm coming at this with an objective point of view. There's a lot of, people loving this coin and people hating this coin. So apparently there was a swap that was handled on some different exchanges. Okay. And they kept the trade open, along with panic sellers really dropped the price. Okay. And basically that's what's going on. And people are like, who is in lead to keep the trade on the open on some markets during the swap period. And then people are responding that the exchange did this, not the team. Okay. So whether that's the team's fault or the exchange part, I don't know the answer to that question. But anyway, people are a little bit concerned with what's going on. But I think like whenever this type of things happen, at first, people are very skeptical and stuff. And then if it's a good project, again, that's up to you to decide if you believe in it. If it's a good project, then there's for sure upside potential. Okay. I think it's just very new right now. So people are kind of, angry about it. But I think as time goes on, maybe like 2-3 weeks, a month from now, I think if they keep it up and they're, open and honest about everything, I think that there's upside potential with this crypto coin. Okay. So the good news is that, these guys are burning a lot of coins. Okay. They're burning like 15.3 million coins. Okay. And if we look here, right, the supply isn't that big, 200, here, the circulating supply is 258 million, coins. Okay. So 15.3 million, that's a lot of coins they're burning. So this is naturally going to drive up the price. Okay. So I think that this happened like 9 hours ago, but we have been coming down in the past 9 hours. But I think in general, in the medium to long term, I think that's a good sign that they're burning so many coins. Again, 258 million circulating supply, 15 million. That's a lot. Okay. And if they continue that, kind of like Omi has been doing a lot of token burns, I think that it can drive the price up. Okay. So again, this is a very objective technical analysis. I'm not saying whether you should love this project or hate this project. That's up to you to decide. I just wanted to show it to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, join the Telegram. Thank you guys so much. See you on the next one.